All right, so our event that we're talking about today is Cosmic Crossroads. So, this event is an immersive Texarkana downtown experience. Not only is it that, though, they have recently made it Cosmic Crossroads as a new nonprofit in Texarkana that is helping bridge the gap between businesses and other nonprofits and helping them connect between each other and get donations to each other and do events. They not only are they doing that, but they're also wanting to like help instill more of an artist community in Texarkana, and it is something that uh, artists that I have spoken to that have been on our show, they feel strongly about. So you'll get to learn a bit about that from the artists who were covering during this. Is going to be, let me bring y'all over to her. So the artist that I talked to is one of the founding members. Her name is she goes by Element Rose. She is mostly a graphic artist. She does all the graphic design for Cosmic Crossroads. She does animation. She does all kinds of things, including photography. But she is also a painter. And she does talk to me a little bit about her painting. But you can see some of her graphic design work that she does for Cosmic Crossroads. She does some pretty amazing stuff. But you'll also get to see and learn about her paintings, um, and her story, and her connection to her like connection to Texarkana, and why she was part of creating Cosmic Crossroads. So we're gonna get into that. Um, Remember, there will be probably two commercial breaks in this one. Just bear with me when we get to it, and we'll just get right back into the interviews each time. All right. You guys enjoy. This was a great conversation, and it had a lot of just a warning. There are some very emotional parts. She will mention when she's about to talk about it. So if you are a little sensitive about certain things that she mentions uh, about loss uh, of a child, that just be aware that that will be part of the conversation. All right, guys, enjoy. Hello, I'm Brittney Hazelton, and this is Architects Artistry, where we explore the arts in our area. Today's guest is going to be hosting a unique, immersive downtown experience event. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi there, my name is Element Rose. My real name is Shannon Rose. Some people just call me Rose. And I'm co-founder, art director, and social media manager of Cosmic Crossroads.
All right. So, first, let's talk about the event. When is it going to be held, and what is it about?
It's November 15th, and it's from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And the whole idea, so to explain what the event is about, I think I need to explain what Cosmic Crossroads is really about.
Okay.
So the whole idea behind Cosmic Crossroads is that each community is its own cosmos. But Texarkana was founded at the crossroads, so that's where we meet to celebrate each other, to celebrate the culture of Texarkana, to celebrate the artistic expression, and to celebrate the hidden gems in the area in a safe and welcoming environment that celebrates everyone.
You're very right about every area is really its own cosmos. It's its own
Hmm.
unique
Hmm.
place, and you can only you have to get in and experience it through events like these to really learn the art culture in areas like
Yes.
Texarkana. So
The
what?
whole
So,
goal, I'm so sorry.
no, it's okay. Go ahead. I'm curious what you had to say.
The whole goal is that, and this is selfishly, I'm sure this reflects some of the crew as well, but the whole goal is once you get people into environments where they have to face each other outside of their normal everyday routine, that is when you allow them room to open their eyes to new adventures, to new experiences,
Yeah.
and it allows them to maybe think, I pass judgments in this area where I shouldn't have because I just simply did not understand and I had not experienced it yet. And that is truly the goal of our events is to just allow people to have new experiences that broadens their
Oh yeah.
horizons, their expectations, and their view of themselves and other people.
Oh yeah, exposure to things that you're not used to. Taking someone, I
Mhm.
mean, that's what art is about generally is taking
Mhm.
someone out of their comfort zone and
Mhm.
exposing them to a thought or an idea or an emotion. And people can really grow from that, and that's a great
Mhm.
way to kind of expose people, especially to the artists in your community, which I wanted to talk to you about. What is it about Texarkana's art community? How do you feel about it?
To be gentle. There is not an inclusive art community here in Texarkana. And like I said, I'm gonna speak very gently. I appreciate the efforts that have happened here,
Yeah.
but I left Texarkana 10 years ago to go to Dallas to be a graphic designer. I came back and the art community was still in the same position it was 10 years ago when I left. Yes, there's been opportunity for murals. Yes, there's been opportunity for public work. But as far as an actual community and connection goes, it's not existent. And this is not just my opinion. We have the art jams that happens once a month now. We're going into our fourth one. We're going to wait and do it December. But I've had artists tell me like it feels very like popular club almost. It seems
Ah,
hard to get in and there's no real, like, okay, for instance, for art jams, I would like families to come. Bring your own art supplies. Bring your kids.
yeah,
Make sure like kids, people my age that have been painting for a while, people who don't know how to paint, who just want to have a fun time with their
yeah.
family, like that. Like, yes, the art community is legitimate artists, but it is so much more than that. It is allowing people room to create. And that is something that is truly missing here. And to create without a schedule,
Hmm.
to create without a budget, just to have some time for themselves for some type of expression and some type of outlet. And yeah, there are classes here. Um, Track is really starting to move this year. I've noticed they're opening pottery classes. They have
That's
another
good.
building that they're offering classes in. They're moving some stuff this year, but it still seems very like, we are still in a low income area and there needs to be more outlets for families and expressions and individuals where they don't feel like I've got to pay, and it doesn't sound crazy, but like I've got to pay $30 to go to this, that's just
Yeah.
not in some people's monthly budget, so we just want to be able to open the door where to the point where it's like, hey, you don't have anything in your pocket, that's fine. You know what? We have these little ceramic things at Art Jam. Just come and paint one of those. Just get it out,
You get making
and
making it more inclusive for the
yes,
broader
yes,
community to come and
yes,
enjoy it. You got to kind
yes,
of have an outreach more than just it's important obviously as an artist to make money, but it's also
yes,
important to understand the cost of living in your area, the amount people actually can afford in their
hmm,
area, and I know that you Texarkana itself. I've seen pretty great artists come out of Texarkana, but
yes,
sadly, I do see them. The ones I've talked to, they want to move or they have moved, and it's kind of sad to see that. But like it really will take what you're doing and other artists in that area are trying to do, and open it up to the community and say, hey
right,
guys, there's these cool things that are happening. Come down, it's
yeah,
free. Shreveport has a lot of events that artists put on, completely free to come and do. And then that's
because
the
we
kind,
understand.
Yeah, it's like it's that kind of thing that can get the public more involved, so they can take everything
Exactly.
more serious and get pride. Because that's the thing about art. You can build pride in your area by getting to know the arts in your area. You know what I mean?
Yes. And that allows you to open the door to other personalities too. And see, that's the whole other side of, our pendulum is the more you introduce people to unfamiliarity, the more you are able to broaden I almost said aspect, broaden the horizon of how they view the world around them. And that is the true, like Cosmic Crossroads for real. And this is on a personal note too, but Cosmic Crossroads for real, that is the biggest thing that we are trying to bring positivity to the area in a way that allows people to find themselves
Yeah.
within this movement.
You
And
also
so like
never
we
know.
found,
You also never know
go
what
ahead.
kind of artists would come out of that.
Yeah.
People who
And it's
are
outside of
creative.
art too.
Great.
Yeah.
So what all kinds of things will happen during this event specifically?
Well, so with our movement of this event, because we did get approved to be a nonprofit in June, we facilitated donations on the way to the event and we just dropped them off Monday. Girl, my days are like this right now. Is today Sunday? Who knows? Um, but we dropped off donations that we collected from the community to two of the local orphanages here in
Oh,
Texarkana. And shout out to Brooke. I think her last name is Robertson. I never know anybody's last name, but she's on our crew, and what we're trying to figure out what to name her title, but I'm leaning toward community connections or
oh,
communications because she facilitated all the donations. And girl, she had boxes, like boxes up to here, like three of them that we had to
oh,
separate, and toilet paper. And it was at least, I hope they were able to save a little bit of money for a month worth of a budget.
oh,
Like it
that's
was a good
nice.
amount of stuff. So that's what, as far as Cosmic Crossroads is concerned, we have found that Texarkana needs a liaison.
Yeah.
Like they need somebody who can stand in the middle and be like, hey, do you need this? Okay, okay, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna ask these 5 or 6 people, and then I'll see you. Give me a couple weeks and I'll see you. And that's kind
Yeah.
of how we found where we fit. So with the event itself, we have a plethora of things that we are trying to bring. So we have a sound camp up at the front, and a
Nice.
sound camp is essentially, um, we'll have some DJs. It's just some extra music throughout the day, and it's going to
Oh,
be at
nice.
the entrance. We have a variety of DJs. We have a guy named Drexler on Facebook. His first name is DG, and I think the second part is Drexler, but Drexler is his first name. And he is an amazing musician. He
Oh,
does
nice.
piano, he does guitar, he sound mixes, he edits, he does vocals, all himself. Like
Oh,
all of his music that you see, it's all him. So he's going to be at our sound camp, and I'm vouching for him to be on our main stage next year or at our next event. And we have a variety of music that's coming. We have, from what I see, I didn't pick them, but we have blues. I have a friend coming through named Big Red, who's a rapper. He's going to be our closer and opening
nice.
for the after party, which is related to us, but it's more one of our crew members is starting an entertainment business. So it's going to be Cosmic Crossroads Introduces, because
Nice.
that part of the party is for profit. So we can't technically be over it.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
I
So, but we're going to
understand that.
introduce his company for the after party.
That's awesome.
And during the day, we're going to have bounce houses. Shout out to
Oh,
Texarkana Tents for that donation.
hey.
Um, we're gonna have a kids dance party, and I've got a bunch of cute little space goodies and stuff, and
Oh,
candy. We're gonna throw in a bucket and make sure you pick one out. We're gonna
oh.
get some more of these. One moment. Let me get into my bag of goodies. we've got these little official cadet pins, and I'm gonna get 100 more, but I'm really worried I'm not gonna be able to have enough.
Oh, those are so cute. Those
But
are
it's
really
Cosmic
cute.
Crossroads official cadet,
Oh,
and we're gonna try and hand those out for the dance party, because those are your cadet IDs.
oh,
And
that's
cadets are
that's
kids.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and like so everybody else is an explorer, and then we have our vendor shuttles, our food shuttles, and then we are considered navigators. We're gonna have little shirts called navigators.
I love it.
And
I love how everything is
thank you.
spacey themed.
I'm trying. I am trying very hard. I am a branding guru, and that is something I am very passionate about.
I gotta say, I
Um,
really have liked a lot of your graphics and the designs for it are really like
Thank you.
professional, very good looking, very eye catching.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
work. Yeah.
Thank you. I've been doing this for like a decade, so thank you. I do the video work too that's on there. Yeah, all the little animations, I do those too.
Wow, that's very
Yeah,
impressive. So
thank you.
you
And
you
everything's by hand. Nothing is AI. Nothing is AI.
nice. Hey, I'm a very I'm advocate against AI, generative AI. AI in the aspect of like finding cancer prematurely or science, like things
Fine,
like that. That's
fine.
great, but generative AI is just stealing. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But well,
yeah.
that's awesome. So you're gonna have a lot of family, like friendly
Yes,
activities, a lot of good work that your nonprofit seems to be doing, and you're working
yes,
across. You're collaborating, with another new business coming up. That's good to
yes,
see. Collaboration's really important. It helps the community grow. You know what I mean? When
exactly.
you get artists of different types collaborating with each other, and there's a lot of growth from that. It unifies
Yes,
because
yes,
what you were talking about before is kind of clickiness between in the
yes.
art, you know but you got to kind of break those boundaries of the clickiness and kind of try to unify
Mm-hmm.
your art community so you can grow better. Otherwise you're
Exactly.
just going to be tunnel visioning or shouting into an echo chamber is really what you'll be
Yeah.
doing.
And you're going to feel like your only chance is to escape. And I speak from a very personal experience from this too. Like being an artist in Texarkana, especially growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, it was very isolating. It was very isolating. Um, you know, I would be drawing in class, and I was drawing weird stuff in middle school, like I was probably on websites I shouldn't have been on, but
Hmm.
like we all play with like the furry
Yeah.
art a little bit when we first get started. I have never seen an artist not have that tucked in a secret folder
I
somewhere,
I can say
but
the closest to furry art I've ever drawn is when I was in like first grade. I drew animals, but really, honestly,
well, I
like
mean
I drew
like a woman with
Pokemon.
cat ears,
Well, there you go.
you know, or a
I
woman with a cat tail, not like the, you know,
I had a really
you know.
big. I guess I had a really big Alice in Wonderland top hat, like full obsession with top hats. So most of the
hmm
things I drew had top hats back when I was younger. Top hats and
Okay.
tentacles.
I was the ears. Put the cat ears on everything. Throw a
Oh,
cat tail on everything.
oh,
I was really big on some online gaming back in the day, like Neopets and stuff like that. And I feel like that
oh.
bled a lot into my artwork
I
as a
have a
younger kid.
I have a good friend. She's an artist, but she'll lie and say she isn't. But she draws colorful dogs. But she loves absolutely still obsessed with Neopets. So she
Yeah.
actually they
No, and
released a
they're surging back.
they released a card game recently,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
she plays that.
Yeah,
She
they
got
have
some of
like
her
little
friends to do
pins.
it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, they're
crazy.
rebooting. They're actually releasing I think, I don't know if it's an actual like physical disc, but they're releasing these games, like these classic games, they said, for like
Oh,
PlayStation and Nintendo and stuff like that,
that's
like PlayStation
crazy.
5. And I'm like, oh, I need a PlayStation 5 right now.
The
I need to go to the
nostalgia.
melted omelet.
Oh man, yeah, that takes me back. I was big into Neopets a little bit, but I got more into Gaia online, and
I was there
oh,
too.
oh, really? Yeah,
Yes, yes.
I had talking about the top hat thing. I had the Mad Hatter's Guild of Doom was our little guild on there
Okay.
where we role played and wrote stories, and everybody had their Mad Hatter persona selves. We kind of was like it's our subculture. We were young, but
Yeah,
it,
I was deep in the forums too. I was deep in the forums too. I was back in the day when Harry Potter was really big. They had a bunch of Harry Potter forums on Neopets where people were playing role playing like that. They did it on Gaia too, but I did most of my Harry Potter stuff over there.
well,
But Gaia was more just like random stuff, and I just really
yeah.
liked the little outfits. I was
Oh yeah.
obsessed with collecting those.
Oh yeah, and like like as an artist back then, I wasn't doing horrible little character art, but you would do
Yes.
commissions for people on Gaia, and it's kind of like how a lot of people that didn't have communities in their areas connected to them, kind of
Hmm.
did art and connected to artists in those online spaces. I feel like,
Well,
and
I did it the wrong way then,
I
because
mean
I
that
isolated myself on there too.
Well, for me, role play and everything kind of became like part of my artistry in that space personally.
Yeah.
Um, so one thing so the one thing you were talking about is being younger and not having anyone to connect to in art. I think you doing cadet thing, you might be able to open the doors for kids to learn their get a
Yes.
space to express their creativity with other kids, get connected. That'd be great,
Hmm.
I'm sure. Okay, guys, here's the first of those commercial breaks. We'll be right back and we'll continue the interview from there. Maybe you
Yeah.
could change that dynamic for
Yeah.
Texarkana children so they don't.
I'm hoping so there are some schools out here that are like I think a STEM school, and there's another one for elementary school kids that are like more enriched or something like that. I'm not young enough, and I don't have kids, so I'm
Yeah.
not deep in the research over there. I probably should, so I could be like, hey, you need an art teacher. But I know there are more outlets out here now than there were, but it doesn't seem that there's a lot of things outside of cool. And that's where it's so weird to me is that there might be a couple things happening throughout the week, but there's nothing like and maybe it's because I'm just seeing a lot of things that are online, but I'm also, with Cosmic, we have to keep our pulse on the neighborhood anyway to see what's coming
Yeah.
up and what's going on. And I just do not see a lot of things that are art artistic outlet for the whole family. I will say that track recently opened an activity center that is for kids. So I want to give them their accolades because they do have an area that is specified for children to create.
Oh, that's
But
neat.
I'm looking for the entire community to be
Yeah.
together. Like I don't want kids like yeah, kids
Do
need to
they
be
do
around
they
other
have a
kids so they're on the same level.
do they have a talented arts program for the kids? Because I know that like in here in Shreveport and in Bossier has its own talented arts program, the Bossier Arts Council. Basically gets these students who are interested in being involved in arts, and they like teach them about how they put them with a mentor that it's an artist, and they help them, and then they eventually have a talented arts gallery show every year, and then
No,
that would be
no,
huge for you guys. That's something
I'm gonna
that,
write that down.
yeah, I was gonna say, get connected with the schools. Say, hey, we were a nonprofit hosting talented arts program, you know, and we're interested in like connecting to students who want to do art. That'd be
Okay.
a great way to kind of also do that.
Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be perfect actually. We
all
got to get
right.
a year's worth of uh being a nonprofit under our belt before we can ask for any type of grants or anything like that.
Establish that
But
name, and get
mhm,
solidified.
mhm.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why we went to, well, we were planning, what's crazy is we were planning our event before we were like, maybe we should make this a nonprofit. And then we just kind of were like, yeah, we should make this a nonprofit. So it's literally we established in February and we got approved to be a nonprofit in June.
Nice.
So it was like, you
Yeah.
know, we just saw a need and we knew that I, my dad's sick. I moved home to take care of my parents. I'm going to be very transparent. I don't have a lot of an income. So we knew that we couldn't depend on ourselves to finance it.
Yeah.
So our best bet was to go and become a nonprofit. That way we could reach out to the community more because as we
Yeah.
played with the idea of being a nonprofit, we realized, like I said, we're realizing that our position is to be a liaison between communities because we realized how disconnected everything is.
Yeah.
Like when we brought the donations to the orphanages, they were like, we couldn't have done this without you. And we were
Oh.
like, all we did is put boxes in other businesses and ask them if they were interested, and people just gave to us.
Oh.
But I can
Yeah.
understand they're dealing with so many kids, they might not have the bandwidth to do that,
Well,
but we do.
that's how so many events and interconnected things happen in Shreveport because we have so many nonprofits who are like reaching out
Hmm.
through like communities connecting with each other. We have organizations like the Life Share Blood Center getting blood
Hmm.
donations from the Vampire Court of Shreveport, like does blood drives for them. And it's like we get
That's
crazy.
wild sounding.
It is. It is. We have an actual vampire court connected to like the New Orleans and the Dallas groups, and they do blood drives to raise, and they do like they do drives for suicide awareness and things. Like they do crazy cool stuff, and like they're
Yeah.
even though they're very different, a lot of
Hmm.
nonprofits will work with them because like they're doing good stuff. Like you can't deny that, and and
Yeah.
and and it's
And they
interesting to
tap
see.
into a whole subculture.
Yeah, they tap into
Yeah.
a whole bunch of subcultures, goths, vampire people,
Hmm.
and it's really it's crazy to see, but it's the kind of thing a nonprofit can do. They can reach
Hmm.
out and they can create events that are free, funded by people who care enough and businesses that care enough to see that kind of thing happening, and
Hmm.
it helps the business too to be involved. they can host events sometimes through these nonprofits. It's a great resource.
Right.
So so
I
I think
will say we did have vendor fees for ours, but we kind of made it so everything has gone back into Cosmic Crossroads. There was not a cent that a vendor paid that was not essentially, it's essentially, so we
right.
called it a vendor fee, but it's essentially like a donation to hold a spot to go toward Cosmic Crossroads. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because I think we spent almost, not to say how much money we made, but just this is a little pocket. We spent at least $1,000 just on the kids,
Yeah.
just on the kids, just on stuff to have them have fun, candy, the little space to go things that, we just wanted to make sure that they were highlighted and taken care of during this event for sure.
Yeah.
So, just to be transparent where we are as well, like everything that has been given to us has gone directly back into either this event or our next venture is to begin fundraising because we got in touch with Hearts on Broad and we're going to do a mural
Oh.
on the side of their wall. It is going to be
Oh.
Texas and Arkansas wildflowers, because also a part of our long-term mission is environmental conservation.
Nice.
Like this
Hey.
is our first year, so we're just kind of like getting wet in our feet wet in the community right now. But in the long run, we really want to be able to help farmers keep their farmland. We want to be able to open doors to classes to help people learn how to forage,
Oh.
how to grow their own food, how to recognize, taking care of farm animals. Like these are our major goals for the long run. And to be able to
Nice.
present free classes for the community, like basic electrical, basic plumbing.
Oh yeah.
My mom is, go ahead.
You can always connect to some of the like parks and stuff. We have a
Yes.
we have a park here called Walter B. Jacobs. They do art and like do a art in the park thing where
Hmm.
where they connect with the artists and not other nonprofits and they just do art in their park. Like and you could connect to something maybe a nature group or a nature park and see if they're interested in teaching those kinds of things. Definitely build those
Okay.
networks up. But
Right.
yeah,
A lot of networks have definitely been coming very naturally just through a lot of our events. So I'm very excited to see who decides to pop up at Cosmic
nice.
Crossroads, because I feel like that's really going to open the door for a lot of the things that we've been talking about to, snowball into fruition for sure.
So we were talking about your graphic art. Let's talk
Hmm.
about your art as an artist. What all kinds of art? What kind of art do you do generally? Because it sounds like you're probably dabble in a few things.
Yes, but artistically, I prefer to be seen as a surrealist. I may not
Nice.
be completely identified by, the elite surrealist people, but that's
Ah.
what I see myself as 100% is a surrealist. My biggest influence is Renee Magritte and Frida Kahlo.
Oh, nice.
Renee Magritte is extremely underrated in my personal opinion. I know everybody loves Salvador Dali, but y'all gotta look into Renee Magritte. Not only was he a surrealistic genius, but he was also extremely hilarious when it came to his paintings. Like he has C'est un pipe, and what that means is this is not a pipe, and it's a painting of a pipe on canvas because it's not a pipe, it's a painting of a pipe, And so
I
he
like
had
art
that
that
type of sense of humor.
I like art that jokes. So I'll
Yes,
definitely have
and
to
that
check
that
out
is
his
him.
stuff. I'll have to check out his
Yes.
stuff. So, well, that's the
And
thing. If it's dreamlike to you, then it's surrealism. Right? If
hmm
it's something of a beyond normal reality, then it's surrealism, right? I myself I identify as a fantasy surrealist. Fantasy
okay.
sci-fi. Sometimes sci-fi, I dabble in it a little bit, but
Yeah.
same thing, kind of
I've been known to draw a couple fairies.
nice. Yeah, I have a thing with elves and I draw demons a lot. Demons, elves,
Okay.
and then cybernetics, robots, and things like that sometimes too.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, those get really complicated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They can be. I watched a lot of Invader Zim when I was younger, and I was very
Same.
highly. Johann Vasquez is one of my biggest influences for
Did
both.
you see the comic book?
Oh yeah,
The Killer Joe, is it Killer Joe comic book
it's
that he used to make?
Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
That
Yes,
guy, that one. Those
yes.
were my
I
introduction.
I actually yeah I read that before I knew about Invader Zim.
Same.
And so I had read that, his Squee books, his I Feel Sick series, and then when I found Invader Zim, I was like, oh, it is literally still him, just slightly
Hmm.
not as violent. Even
He
though
said, "For kids."
even though sometimes it really didn't seem like it was for kids. Like there was an
It was not.
episode where he was stealing organs from children.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
And he's like, I have all the organs. I am the supreme human.
he had
Yes.
like an intestine hanging out of his mouth, and I'm like,
Yeah, he said, yeah.
yeah.
And what he
Oh,
was replacing other people's body parts with like birds or something like that, or like one guy got his
yeah.
stomach replaced with a heater.
Random objects.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
somehow they're still alive. He was trying to
Exactly.
be.
And he's
I'm
like,
gonna. He was like, I'm gonna have
he was
so
like, my
many
stomach
organs.
hurts. And steam like comes out of his mouth. That was so funny. Oh
It
my God. That's a
was.
really good episode. That's a
It
really good
was.
episode.
Oh, it was. I did you see the movie that came out recently? Enter the
I
Florpus.
did.
Oh, it
I
was so
did.
good. It was so.
It's I gotta rewatch it. But I did. I did. I watched the last few episodes of Invader Zim and then I went and watched it because I'm one of those people. Like when a new season comes out, I'm like, let me watch the last two episodes because obviously I have no idea what's going on anymore. I'm a
Yeah.
fresh mind.
Yeah, I loved it. It was so good.
Hmm.
I love Dib's dad, membrane became really epic at the end. But people have to see it. I shouldn't
Hmm.
ruin
Hmm.
anything, especially for if you're an Invaders fan. So I see you have a few paintings back there. Can I see them?
I do.
Can you pull them up? I would like.
So these are not finished. I am going to be very honest with you right now. I have
Okay.
not finished a painting. Oh my God, this is gonna sound so horrible. I have not finished a painting since I was like 30.
Oh wow. Hey, it could be an issue.
I'll be 36 this year.
Oh.
I have not finished a painting in like 6 years. And then Cosmic Crossroads fell into my lap, and I was like, well, I'll never paint
I
again.
mean,
No, no, no.
well, graphic arts is just as well an art too, but painting it does, sometimes they never feel finished.
Yeah.
To be
Painting is
honest.
for your soul, though. Graphic design, for me personally, and I understand that a lot of people they do find an outlet in their designs, but graphic design for me, honestly, is for me to provide a solution to someone else's problems. Like my art name is Element Rose, and I actually came up with that as a graphic designer in college. And
No.
the whole thing behind it. It's so stupid, but they eat it and it's so funny. It's cute. But my whole spiel was I was the element that you were missing. So I became one of the elements like fire, water, rose, you know?
Oh.
So I'm the element that you've been missing in your company because I'm a one-stop shop. I do everything from logo designs, flyer designs, I do video edits, I do photography, I splice video, I do animation.
Wow.
I literally taught myself things so companies wouldn't have to outsource,
Very nice. I
you
mean,
know.
if you can pay someone to do everything, right, you save yourself a lot of money, right?
Listen, you gonna pay me a little bit of money, but
Yeah.
what you were going to pay to outsource is gonna be a
It's better.
third
It's
of
better
what you
than
were gonna
yeah.
pay.
It's better than paying multiple
Exactly.
people.
Exactly.
All
Just give
right.
me time to sleep and we'll be fine.
Yeah, that's the important part. We need our sleep.
Okay. So this is one I've been working on for a while, and this is more of like a piece that I have some practice pieces that end up becoming like paintings, and that's just kind of how I work. I was when I was younger, I had a person teaching me before I met my mentor, and it was very restrictive. So as
Mm,
an adult, I find myself not just playing with canvases. I do not touch a canvas unless I think it's something I would actually want to execute,
yeah.
and then I put it away for like 5 years. And then I'm like, oh yeah, no, I can do this now. But this is one I've been working on for a little
Oh,
while. And
oh, I love the
it's just
jellyfish. Those are cool. And
it's cloud
clouds.
jellyfish. Yes. And like the whole idea for this one is like you see those surrealist paintings with like whales in the
Yeah.
sky. And I was like, but I mean, I get it. Like the clouds look like waves, but what really looks like it belongs in the sky? And it's jellyfish because the inside of them already looks like clouds,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So that was my idea behind this. And it actually, I don't know if you can see it, but it has like mica powder in it.
It looks
So all
cool.
these they shimmer differently and they just hold light differently. So to me,
Yeah,
mica
I can
powder in your
see.
paint makes it look more 3D, right?
Yeah.
So, and this will end up having a holographic strip right here. And then, so it makes a rectangle all the way around. And then
Nice.
I'll have holographic heat adhesive type of thing like wrapped
Very
around it.
nice. I
So
think you
this
can
won't
get
even
like
be visual.
I think you can get like leafing, holographic leafing type thing.
Yeah, we've got that, and I've also got some like heat activated, like heat transfers kind
Yeah.
of paper, but I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
that could
wrap
work
it
too. Yeah.
and heat it,
That
around
look
it and
good.
let it wrap.
That look good.
So this is the one I really, really am proud of. I
Ooh.
have not finished it yet. Let me stand up.
Oh wow. That's beautiful. That's very
Hold on, I
beautiful.
gotta see where I'm at. I gotta see where I'm at. I'm dyslexic, so I'm going the other way.
That's very beautiful.
Thank you.
I love the
So
color.
this one actually, I started. Let me see if I can get it over. I'm literally dyslexic. Bear with me. Okay. And it doesn't help that this is
There's a lot
reflective.
of emotion in it.
Yes.
I see.
So this one I actually started when I was like 25, I think. And she started out as a lion,
Oh wow.
and she was all red and gold, and I just decided it was trying too hard. You know what I mean? That was the original. It was like, like,
Hmm.
but I just, I was like, man, this is trying too hard. This is not me, and okay, I'm gonna get a little bit sensitive real quick. I got into between 28 and 30, I got into one of my many emotional kind of abusive relationships, and
Ah.
this one was pretty bad, and it just kind of like drained a lot of who I was out of me.
It
I'm gonna
can.
be a little bit honest. I'm gonna be a little bit honest, okay? So and a little bit more than honest. So trigger warning before I say what I'm about to say, just for your viewers. This story does include loss of children, okay?
Oh.
Um, so
Okay, before we get into that story, again, when we do get into it, she did give a trigger warning. So those of you who have a hard time dealing with loss, things of that nature, that is to be warned about. Otherwise, we're gonna have our commercial break, and then we will get right back to it. All right, guys.
When I was 30, I found out I had PCOS. I had been begging for a fertility test since I was 16, and people would just look at my hips. Even women gynecologists would look at my hips and tell me I was fine because I do
Mm.
have very wide hips. And so at 30, I finally found somebody that would test me, and I got diagnosed with PCOS, and I
I
got
have it
told that
too.
80,
I
it's
have
so
it too.
common down here. It's ridiculous. What are they
It
feeding
is.
us? What are they putting in our water? Like straight up. But I was told that 80% of my pregnancies would end in miscarriage.
Oh.
And 6 months later, in the middle of this abusive situation, me and this man had broke up, and I was like the most emotionally unhinged I have ever been in my life, and he did not
Oh.
deserve any of that, and I couldn't understand why I was so emotionally unhinged over this guy. And then I found out I had a miscarriage.
Oh.
So, and then it took me 5 years because if that's when I found out not only will my pregnancies fail, but I'm allergic to being pregnant.
Oh no.
Like it blew up my immune system. I couldn't walk outside without my eyes swelling shut. Like I had like these,
Wow.
and I have two dogs, and I lived by myself at the time, and I had to go like bathe in cortisone cream and then go out and walk my dogs and pray to God that they went to the bathroom quick enough that my face didn't
Oh.
react. And thank God it was at a time where we were all working from home and stuff because there's no
Yeah.
way I could have gone to the office like that. Like my lips were swelling. Like this was, it was bad. It was bad. It was so bad.
It just sounds like a
So
lot of
anyways,
bad things were stacking on you.
yeah, yeah. So this leads into this. I promise so much.
No, it's okay.
But so I touched this again, um, about a year and a half ago, and I've been building it ever since then. But I had changed it to blue when I was with that guy because I was like back at that time my corporate branding was navy blue and gold. And so when I brought her here, she was still navy blue and gold. And I
Yeah.
also have a lot of trauma behind corporate because they are very abusive to their artists. They just are, especially if you're working
Yeah,
for
we've seen
higher
how
places.
yeah, we've seen how they treat animators and stuff for Disney and other places. Yeah, it's not been great
Listen,
historically.
being a graphic designer for small businesses is no different. It's
Yeah.
no different at all.
They
Like
don't
it's the
understand
same.
they don't understand the work
Yeah,
and the talent that it requires to do that type of
yeah.
thing. And then they kind of just
Especially if you're the only one on the team that does it.
yeah, that's even
Like
worse.
it's 100%. It's from 0 to 100 like that.
Yeah.
Um, so when I pulled her out, she was still blue and gold, and I just I stopped and looked at her for a while because it was very much like this poor girl. Because I started painting her before I knew about my PCOS, before about any of that stuff. So it was almost like looking at a past me, and I was just like,
Oh, I'm sorry, dear.
it's okay. It's a part of my art. Then that's what I want to express is that my art is very much um, an emotional stepping stone for me to be able to work through the things that I've been through. And that's
Yeah.
what my art is. It's for me. I don't paint celebrities. I don't paint any of this crazy stuff. I got like 3 or 4 self-portraits because my art, I take a huge note from Frida Kahlo. I know me and I can represent me and express me. And if somebody finds the same pain within my pain and can move through it, then I did my job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No,
when I
that's the
pulled
truth.
her out, exactly, when I pulled her out, I looked at her for like an hour and I cried. I just cried. And it was just like this girl has no idea what she's about to go through. She has no idea how much she is fixing to have to face herself.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is going to now be an evolution. So I painted my pain, I painted my sorrow, and I painted me realizing who I actually am. And that's the end of this painting. And she's going to have a violet third eye and a crown of planets, and her hair expands into this universe because this is where she had to come from in order to create the place that she needs to be.
Well, you're
And so it was just,
discovering a purpose
yes,
within your new
yes.
organization, and you're creating
And
a
this was
new
before
purpose.
that.
Yeah.
And this was before that, before Cosmic Crossroads was even a thought. And see, that's what I think is so crazy about paintings is that they are literally, if you are painting for yourself and you're painting your existence, they are literally
Oh yeah.
prophecies for where you are going.
They're pulling from our subconscious. They in somewhere
Hmm.
is it. Our subconscious knows where we're trying to go. You know,
Yes,
we our shadow self. Have you ever heard that term? The
yes,
shadow self knows who we are deep inside, and painting really is a deep dive into our shadow
it is.
selves of who we are deep inside. And I think
Yes,
that
if you
I
can
yeah
direct it enough, you've
yeah
got to be able to have the control over where your art is going
yep
in order for it to really. And I'm a very big believer that artists, when we paint, we're not speaking just for ourselves, we're speaking for the universe. That's why you see there are some artists that, hey, this painting is similar to mine. That's because spirit has the same message for you.
yep
And this is what the world needs to see from, this collective, like this genre of art. And
oh
that's
yeah.
why, oh wow, I just made a painting like that, because we need to deal with that emotion,
That's why
and
it's
that, and
important
you
for
are the outlet.
artists. That's why it's important for artists. We're like communicators to the universe, to
Mhm.
everyone.
Mhm.
We can bridge the gap between humanity, the universe, and putting it in a visual format so people can see. That's why it's important that we show art, because
Mhm.
that it connects people to each other in a way that can only
Yes.
be done through someone's deep dive into that self, you know.
Mhm.
But
If
I
you can make a piece and it makes somebody stop and go, or just take a moment to reflect, you've
oh
done
yeah,
your job as an
oh yeah,
artist, because that is what art is for. Art is
exactly,
for forcing people to take a moment. They don't have to think about anything,
oh yeah.
but they took that moment, and that's what's important.
Well, there was someone I said. Someone told me they're like, yeah, they can look at my work because he one of the artists, Nick Furlon, he does these really weird, strange creatures, very combinations
Hmm.
between animals and food and weird. And he sculpts them, and he's just like, okay, so some of them are very unhinging, and he's just like, even if somebody hates it, I get the
They're
reaction
gonna
I
look at
want.
it.
I
Yeah,
want because
yeah.
like if it invokes that powerful of an emotion that they hate it, then it's
Hmm.
doing what he wants it to do. It's invoking something within that
Yes.
viewer, and
Hmm.
that's
And they're gonna
that's
go home and think
super.
about it.
Exactly. They'll go home and it'll keep pondering on their minds like, man, I hate that thing, and then they're thinking about it. But you're thinking about it so much, just like that hate is a powerful emotion just as much as loving something, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But I could tell when I saw it, there was a lot of deep emotions coming from that, and
Yes.
it's. I feel like emotions and art is, being able to dive into ourselves and express that through art is
Hmm.
extremely important. And I think you're
Yes, it is.
capturing that very well. Once that piece is finished,
Yes, yes.
you'll have to show it to me, because I
Yeah.
want to see the full finished thing for
Well,
sure.
hopefully after Cosmic Crossroads dies down, I've got to get my website back on and up and edited. But as soon as that's over, I told them, I was like, yeah, I'll work with fundraising, but I'm taking a break for a little while because I am
Understandably.
losing my mind over here.
Talking about social media, how can people connect to your nonprofit and to follow you on social media for your art?
So on Facebook, we're Cosmic Crossroads. On Instagram, we're Cosmic Crossroads TXK. We don't have a TikTok yet, but that's just because I don't have any videos. It's our first year. So as soon as we get some videos together, I'll be able to make a TikTok. For me personally, I'm Element Rose 13 on everything.
Nice.
13 is the day that I was born. So before y'all think it's some weird Friday the 13th thing, I'm actually the queen of Friday the 13th. Thank you. Um, But Element Rose 13 is who I am, literally across the board, everywhere.
Nice.
It's Element Rose 13.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would like to say to our viewers before we go?
Just that, make sure you're taking time for yourself to have some type of expression. The world is so crazy right now. It's the most unhinged I think we've been since about 1940. So, just make sure you're taking some time for yourself to have some type of outlet because at this moment we still have the privilege to do that. So, make sure you're taking advantage of that privilege to give yourself somewhere else for your emotions to go besides this,
Yeah.
because when
Honestly,
you get
yeah.
locked into this, you get more unhinged, and this is where psychosis begins. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah. Social media is a blessing and a curse
Hmm, hmm.
in the world. So I think we gotta still, as the human race, figure out how to moderate ourselves, and
Hmm.
when do we put the phone down, and when do we face people face to face and actually
Hmm.
communicate versus just words. You can't read
Right,
emotion through text or posts. You can only
right.
read emotions when you face someone, and when someone has to face someone, then they have to deal with the person themselves, and they can't
Yes,
hide behind the post where they can just hide away or block whoever they want. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
All right, thank you so much for talking to me, and I look forward to seeing what all Cosmic Crosswords do. You're welcome to reach out to me if you got more events coming up and you guys want to talk about it.
We are actually planning, so and I'm gonna reach out to the art group that you have too. But in spring, I think I said this sometime in this conversation, but we're Art Jam is gonna be presenting Spring Jelly, and that is something that we're doing with this mural that we're trying to do. We want to have the unveiling with Art Jam Spring Jelly, and it's
Oh,
gonna be an art, we're gonna try and focus on art, but obviously here we have to have crafts and stuff too because
I
that's just the
mean,
area.
it's an art
Yeah.
like thing as well. I mean,
But we
crafts
were trying to
makers, yeah,
focus on paint,
yeah,
But them boys is shy out here. So we're gonna kind of make it more of an arts and crafts thing, and have people live painting out there as much as we can. We really want to, like I said, we're really trying to open the door for the art community. And that's my focus personally because me and my husband are the artists on the crew.
yeah.
Um, Cody is focused on small business. Brooke is focused on community outreach and trying to get back to us to see what the area needs so we can plan accordingly. And Trent is over music and getting those involvements together. So we
Nice.
have and we're all into environmental protection. So
Very
we all
nice.
have our own little niches, but we come back together on our main point. So we're really trying to it's really just a bunch of black sheep together, and we're just really trying to make sure nobody feels like we did, and make
Oh,
sure everybody has an area to be and to be accepted and to be able to express themselves.
well, I definitely look forward to talking to you more about everything that you guys
Yes,
are doing.
ma'am.
Yeah.
I really,
Congratulations on
really
becoming a
appreciate you,
nonprofit.
Brittany.
No
Thank you. Thank
problem.
you.
All right. Well, we'll talk again later. You take care, okay?
Yes, ma'am. You have a beautiful day. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
again. We really appreciate you putting us out there and allowing us to talk to you.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right. So that was my interview with Element Rose about Cosmic Crossroads. Their event is coming up November 15th, and it's going to be in downtown Texarkana area. They're going to have live music. They're going to have vendors. They're going to have an after party. There's going to be a kids events and like a kids dance party where they're going to be giving away free kid goodies for the kids. They're wanting to promote art in Texarkana and give an environment for artists to connect and to and families just to come and just be creative together. Um, they have a lot of really cool goals, and Element Rose is a great artist that's involved with all of that. Her husband is also a mural artist who I hope to one day get him on the show so he can talk about his art as well. His stuff is very phenomenal, also. So, guys, definitely check out Element Rose on Facebook. Her Facebook is Element Rose Art and Design. Um, Also, while you're there, you can also follow my page on Facebook where I post pictures of events and things that we're doing at local businesses, things like of that nature as well. Um, and other like sneak peeks of gallery shows that I go to sometimes and things like that. And my art, of course. This is my art page where I, show all my art. Um, you also find more of my interviews like this one on KSLA.com. If you go to the podcast section and you go to Architects Artistry, from there you check out all the articles I write and my interviews. And additionally, on YouTube, you go to KSLA and look at their playlist. You'll find an entire playlist of my videos on as an Architects Artistry playlist there. You can find more of KSLA's stuff on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, all of these different streaming apps. Just look up KSLA and you might be able to find if we have a channel on it or not. Thank you guys again for stopping in and supporting the art. Remember, support your local artists any way you can, and whether it's just commenting on their posts about their art, sharing their work, and importantly, buying it if you can afford it. Even if you can't afford an original piece, you can always, instead of hanging up a Walmart piece of art, you can actually get a print and hang up an actual artist that is locals work on your wall. All right, guys. Thank you again. You take care. I'll see you next Saturday at noon. Always Saturday at noon. Bye, guys.